The level of stress to set up this tripod, plug the ring light in. I'm reading from a script, so I need to read the script without holding it. That was stressful. My name's Adam. The script says I'm 20, but I'm 21 now, because it took 50 years for me to film this. If you genuinely don't care about any sort of introduction to who I am, then I will stick a timestamp in here, taking you to the actual content of the video. So go ahead to that if you want. Before I start my kind of first video, I'll give a brief introduction into who I am and my interest in the paranormal. When I was a preteen, like 11, 12, 13, I had a pretty big cryptid phase, and to a slightly lesser extent, all things just unknown, mysterious, and supernatural. When I started high school, my fascination in it kind of subsided. I just got preoccupied with standard high school things. And so it wasn't until COVID lockdown a couple years ago when I stumbled across Jesse V's YouTube channel. Go check that out, especially if you like this type of video, because this is very much kind of the same sort of format. And that sort of resuscitated my interest in the paranormal. And by last year, I'd been hooked on Ghost Adventures, Destination Fear, Sam and Colby, Spirit Stalkers, as well as documentaries on TV like Paranormal Declassified, In Search of Monsters, and Strange Evidence. Anyway, that was a brief-ish history that no one asked for about who I am, but I thought I'd put it in the first video. Okay, now actually onto the video that you clicked on here for. I thought I would talk about or introduce some of the most haunted locations right here in Victoria, Australia. That might be of interest to you if you're interested in the paranormal. Quick acknowledgement, besides the internet, my sources include such books as this one and this one, both by Bill Tabone. If you're a paranormal enthusiast in Melbourne or coming to Melbourne or interested in Melbourne, then I highly recommend both of these books. You'll find them online. So the first location that I'm going to be talking about is the Royal Melbourne Hotel. Now I have Bill's Melbourne book to thank me for teaching me about this place. I'd never read about this online, but judging from the book's content, there was quite a lot interesting to say about this location. Originally opened in 1889, the pub actually was originally the Burke Street West Police Station. The police station was in operation for nearly 90 years, closing in 1976. When I was looking up information and pictures about this location, which I will be showing right now, I was particularly drawn to the cell block, which apparently you can dine in. So I'd love to go there and just have a sticky beak around and see just what it looks like. Now the cell block is also interesting because it's haunted. One spirit, George, has been contacted by the Australian Paranormal Society, APS, and he was constable when the hotel was a police station. There is another spirit there by the name of Michael, who died in the 1980s. He occupies a cell that is now the dancer's change room. Yet another spirit in the cell block is the ghost of a little girl named Ingrid, who was left alone on the streets after her father was imprisoned. Now I could probably go on about this place, but you get the idea. There's a lot of activity and history surrounding this location. I also think it's worth noting that apparently multiple constables all died in the building, one of a heart attack and another who jumped to his death. Perhaps there's some sort of negative energy there that we don't quite understand. The next location that I would like to talk about is the Old Melbourne Jail. Perhaps one of Melbourne's most famous haunted places, and possibly one of Australia's in general. Construction began way back in 1839, just 4 years after Melbourne was settled, and the jail opened in 1845. Some of the jail's most famous prisoners include Ned Kelly, Frederick Bailey Deeming, and the wrongfully accused Colin Campbell Ross. All three of these people were among the 133 that were executed here. After 79 years, the jail closed in 1924, and sections of it were demolished in the 1930s. And during World War II, around 1940, the location was used as a military prison for soldiers who were absent without leave. Since the 1970s, some sections of the jail are part of the RMIT University, which is right there next to it. And this makes me wonder how much of RMIT is haunted, if at all, because it was definitely built, at least partly, over some old cell blocks. Disembodied voices, shadow figures, and other apparitions have been reported here, and it is worth noting that cell 17 on the middle floor is particularly renowned for being the most active and haunted cell. However, thanks to several inmate records being destroyed in a mysterious fire, nobody actually knows who was imprisoned in this cell or why it is so haunted. Lastly, we have the Aradale Lunatic Asylum, perhaps my favorite haunted location in the entire universe. This place is definitely a relatively popular destination for people to go to, but at the same time, it's just so underrated in my eyes, especially in comparison to, like, say, the old Melbourne Jail. Opened in 1865, Aradale is so big that it was actually built as like a town within a town. The town of Ararat, which I probably should mention, is just a tiny country town in the middle of nowhere. Now, it is estimated that approximately 13,000 people died at the asylum during its 133 years of operation. It closed in 1998, but you can still go there on ghost tours and paranormal investigations, which I have been on one ghost tour so far. There have been so many reports on Aradale. I want to make an actual video all about this place, because I can. There's just so much to talk about. There's pretty much everything you can think of at Aradale, from disembodied voices and screams, shadow figures, all sorts of equipment going off, doppelgangers, it just goes on and on. This book here, so much information about it, so check it out if you're interested. There's also another book as well on Aradale, which is like the makings of a haunted asylum or something. If I keep making videos, Aradale is like at the top of my list. I love this place. I want to move there. I want to live in the asylum. So that's all the locations that I'm going to be talking about right now. I don't even know how long this video is going to be. I didn't actually script an outro either, so I don't know how I'm supposed to end this. I'll make more videos, probably, and other stuff. What is that? Part of the door. Thank you for watching this. Please subscribe, actually. That's probably something I should say. And like the video. It's so weird saying that. I feel like a YouTuber. Yeah. Thank you.